Crypto has a major problem holding it back, and most people aren't considering this. We just saw the market go through a major setback, and this is just months after reaching new highs for Bitcoin and several other major alts. But let's focus on Bitcoin for a second. The new kid on the TradFi block, the digital gold that everyone believed to be the ultimate store of value. For a while, we had the $100,000 price point in our minds as the magical support zone. But what about now? Not so magical, right? Even the 90K support was crushed, and it's still fighting to push out of the 80K range. And everyone's left wondering, Bitcoin can't fall lower than this, right? Well, let's consider what's going on right now. Bitcoin tapped the bottom of the $80,000 range and started to bounce back towards $90,000. While the big pullback may have scared a lot of retail investors, this is a chance for institutions to deploy capital and add to their stockpiles and treasuries. Michael Saylor was continuing his Bitcoin purchases through the strong downtrend, although we haven't seen any buys in the 80K range. But don't forget about ETFs. BlackRock's IBIT ETF is the largest Bitcoin ETF to date, and they just saw a record-breaking week of outflows. This makes sense. People sold their shares out of panic and forced hundreds of millions in Bitcoin sales. But we're seeing a reversal now. Inflows are starting to ramp up again to indicate a shift from fear to greed. And this could mean a price floor is being established. And of course, the biggest driver for price action, liquidity. All macro factors are pointing to more liquidity coming into the markets over the coming months. The odds of a December rate cut are up. Countries all around the world are planning liquidity boosts to support growth for their economy. And remember the M2 and Bitcoin correlation everyone was talking about? Well, the recent pullback slightly broke this theory. But if you look at this chart carefully, it's not global liquidity that's correlated to Bitcoin price action. It's the rate of growth in liquidity, which are these green areas. Every time this area grew to a peak, Bitcoin's price pushed up shortly after. And if you consider what's happening now with liquidity injections and rate cuts, it looks like the green chart is pushing up again. But here's the thing. Bitcoin's major price volatility is only part of the story. There's a bigger issue holding crypto back. It's regulation. For years, the lack of clear rules has been a massive roadblock for the entire industry. Without defined frameworks, projects have been stuck in limbo, fighting legal battles or scaling back their ambitious plans. Look at Ripple and XRP. They were dragged through a multi-year lawsuit with the SEC with billions of dollars and the future of their entire ecosystem on the line. Telegram's Ton project raised $1.7 billion in 2018, but they were forced to shut down their blockchain plans in 2020 after the SEC stepped in. Even giants like Coinbase have spent millions defending themselves against vague regulations. These cases show how regulatory uncertainty has slowed down some of the biggest ecosystems. Fast forward to today, we're starting to see progress. Regulations that are finally accepting of stablecoins, altcoin spot ETFs going live. We're still far from knowing exactly how crypto will fit into this traditional financial world, but we're getting there. But here's the part you need to pay attention to. While many large projects have been struggling over the years with the regulatory roadblocks, one project was quietly taking a different path. A crypto project that's been working directly with the US government for years. Yes, it's a crypto native project with its own decentralized network. This is probably surprising because of how anti-crypto and anti-blockchain the government has been in the past. Some of you might already know what I'm talking about, but if you don't, let me introduce you to the Constellation Network. This team has secured contracts to help the US Air Force build a fast, secure data sharing platform. One of their flagship initiatives, called Iron Spider, is all about boosting data security for the US federal government. This isn't just hype, it's a real integration of decentralized tech into government infrastructure. Now, all of this sounds impressive, right? But here's the catch. Despite these achievements, Constellation Network isn't making headlines. This team has been around for years, yet it feels like a forgotten project in the crypto space. And if you check the price chart for their native DAG token, it's not too exciting. So what's going on here? Are these government contracts just for show, or is there something deeper in this ecosystem that points to massive potential down the road? I've been following the Constellation Network for years, and let me tell you, what they've accomplished is groundbreaking for a crypto project. But the real question is it worth your attention now? Especially with all the changes in the crypto landscape and the competition from networks like Ethereum and Solana? Well, stick around because in today's video, we're diving deep into the Constellation Network. We'll break down what it is, how it works, and whether this sleeping giant has what it takes to shine in this bull cycle. But let me quickly ask you something. Did any of the crypto price action scare you over the last little while? Well, if it did, you're not alone. Volatility is part of the game, and what's important is learning how to navigate crypto, especially when things are looking uncertain. That's why the FireHustle Discord group is a great space to be a part of. Our team is constantly analyzing the markets, providing critical updates, and sharing trading opportunities for our members. I personally stay plugged into this community to stay up to date with what's going on, both in crypto and in the macro landscape. So check out the link in the description to learn more about the Discord group. And as always, none of what I share is financial advice. My content is for educational purposes only. Now, hit the like button and subscribe buttons, turn on post notifications, and let's dive deeper into the Constellation Network. So we'll start with the basics. What exactly is the Constellation Network? Well, Constellation is known as a layer 0 blockchain protocol. Think of it as a foundation that developers can build their own custom layer 1 networks on top of. It's similar to Avalanche with its network of subnets. In this case, these layer 1s are called metagraphs, and each one can be tailored to specific use cases, whether it's for DeFi applications or a system for managing government data. The main focus point for Constellation is handling large volumes of data at fast speeds while keeping operation costs low. And this is possible thanks to their own native decentralized network called the hypergraph. Unlike a linear blockchain, the hypergraph is a DAG-based network, so it allows data to flow through multiple pathways at the same time. Think of it as a web of transactions and data moving through the network to get stored and validated. This setup allows the hypergraph to process massive amounts of data with high scalability, perfect for real-world applications where speed and reliability are a must. And the bonus is that transactions on the network are feeless. But projects that build their own ecosystems on the hypergraph can choose to charge fees. But how does this type of network stack up against leading networks like Ethereum and Solana? Well, Ethereum is the king of smart contracts and DeFi, but it struggles with higher gas fees and scalability bottlenecks. Layer 2s help with this, but the layer 1 underneath this still has its limitations. Solana is all about speed and low fees, making it a better option than Ethereum for a lot of devs and users. We all know that Solana rose through the ranks because of how easy it is for anyone to launch their own project and tokens. But most of the activity on Solana was meme coin related rather than real utility. And within all the noise, a ton of scams and rug pulls popped up. Constellation prioritizes security and stability, especially for enterprise and government use cases, which makes it a bit less flashy. But the tech is reliable. There's a reason why the US government has been working closely with this team to power their own operations. One big piece of criticism for this project is that the US Air Force contracts are a thing of the past. Some people call this news outdated. The truth is that they have an ongoing relationship with the US Air Force and the Department of Defense. But beyond this, the team has been making progress across other industries and sectors. One recent initiative that they've taken on is a decentralized lottery system. This is a collaboration project with an AI company called M42 and a lottery software group called DFNN. Basically, they're working together to launch the world's first blockchain-powered lottery system in the Philippines. But why in the Philippines? Well, almost half of the country's gaming revenue falls under lottery gaming, and the Philippines is in the top 5 countries in terms of crypto adoption as of today. Now, you might be thinking, great, another project that's expanding into gaming. But this isn't about gaming at all. The lottery is a system that's tightly regulated by the government. There are strict rules to follow, identity checks, audits, and of course, a high volume of payments to safely process. And that's true not just in the Philippines, but across the globe. Using a decentralized network like the hypergraph would unlock fast and secure data handling that's also transparent. And with the Constellation network being chosen for this project, it says a lot about the team's credibility. If things work as planned in the Philippines, this creates a tried and tested model to implement in other countries. Imagine the Constellation network powering lottery gaming infrastructure in the US. This is pretty big, and it creates a much bigger case for their future with government systems. Now, one of the initial focuses for the Constellation network team was actually AI. The reason being the amount of data that needs to be stored and processed during AI development. And that's where the hypergraph comes in. Now, after years of developing the project ecosystem, we're starting to see some AI-focused projects being built on the hypergraph. An example is the Upsider AI, an AI agent platform that's also connected to the base chain. But again, it's more than just AI products being built on the network. As AI rapidly grows, we know that this is going to become a more regulated space. Data security and compliance are going to be major factors for this industry, and with Constellation already positioning itself as a go-to choice for government agencies, this team is ahead of the curve. And this is the same idea for other sectors that are projected to grow rapidly over the next decade, including RWA tokenization and ownership. So it's really starting to sound like this project has a very bright future. But here's the problem. If you've been looking at the DAG token price, you're probably not impressed. Right now it's sitting at around 1.4 cents. The all-time high was 46 cents back in 2021. That's a 97% drop. Even with all the progress, the price has been dead. Volume is low, community buzz is quiet, and the chart looks like it's just bleeding out since 2021. In crypto, the first thing people look at for a project is their token price, because price action is everything. But the reality is that token price doesn't always reflect what's happening behind the scenes. There's a massive disconnect between what the Constellation team is building and what the market is pricing it at. They're securing government contracts, launching real-world systems, positioning themselves in future trillion-dollar industries. But the market hasn't caught on yet. The potential is there. We just need to see the pieces fall into the right place this cycle. If the team continues to secure partnerships and develop real-world projects, we could see a major shift. I've been following this ecosystem for a while now, and based on my research, this is my own personal take on the Constellation network and what I believe they can achieve. That being said, crypto is volatile and projects can succeed or fail for a million different reasons. Don't take what I say as financial advice. Take it as a starting point to do your own research and fully understand the project for yourself. If you found this breakdown valuable, then hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives on projects that the market might be sleeping on. Drop a comment and let me know what you guys think about Constellation. Are you bullish or do you think the ship has sailed? And check out the FireHustle Discord in the description if you want to stay connected with our community. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.